Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about audio recording and editing methods. We'll cover audio editing from three aspects: recording with Premiere, adjusting volume, applying audio effects. Let's start with recording using Premiere. First, you need to open the audio editing workspace. In the latest version of Premiere, there's a dedicated audio editing panel. Let's open the software. By default, we're in the editing panel, and we can click on the audio tab to quickly switch to the audio editing panel. Inside this panel, we can set up the tracks for recording. Normally, there should be 3 tracks. In this case, there are 4 tracks. Each track corresponds to a column. This will be a line for each track. For 4 tracks, there will be 4 lines. If we want to record on a specific track, we can click to enable it. If it's not clickable, we can use the external audio recording button below. For example, we can select Audio 2, the second track, Audio 2. We can mute the default audio on this track to have no sound. Then we can separately enable external audio recording. For instance, clicking on external audio recording will initiate a countdown. We can resize this interface a bit. Video refers to what we see in our daily lives, such as movies, TV shows, DVDs, VCDs, and so on. They all fall under the category of video. After we finishing recording, we can click this button to close it. The waveform generated at this point is the sound we just recorded.
就是所谓的视频，在日常生活中看到的电影、电视、DVD、VCD 等都属于视频的范畴。
With the steps we've gone through, we've completed the external audio recording process. Now let's move on to adjusting the volume. The method for adjusting the volume. Let's first look at how to work with individual clips. As you can see in this illustration, there's a yellow line. As we mentioned before, the default function of this line is for opacity, while in audio, it represents volume. If you raise it, the volume increases. If you lower it, the volume decreases. We can create a trapezoid shape like this. It represents a fade-in and fade-out effect, transitioning from low to high volume, and vice versa. Now let's see how to do this in the software. Double-clicking in this empty space will expand it. Currently, the yellow line represents the volume. We can increase it to raise the volume. And if we lower it, the volume decreases. Currently, the voice is very low. Now it's back to normal. Then using the pen tool, we can add notes. Press the spacebar to preview,
DVD、VCD 等都属于。
and we achieve a fade-in and fade-out effect for the sound. This is how we adjust the volume. So, if we want to adjust the volume for an entire track, we can achieve that through the track mixer. Let's see how it's done in the software. Let's reset this to its default state. Our track is A2, so we locate the panel for A2. We can use this slider to increase the volume for the entire track. Press the spacebar to preview the video, and we've achieved an overall increase in volume. We can go up to a maximum of 15.
界面可以稍微缩小一点。Video 就是所谓的。
This is how we use a track mixer to adjust the volume for the entire track, either increasing or decreasing it. Now let's move on to audio effects. Use high-pass and low-pass effects for noise reduction. A high-pass effect allows frequencies above a certain set point to pass through, while a low-pass effect allows frequencies below a certain set point to pass through. When recording, interference such as device, cable, environment, and static noise might occur. If the noise is singular and concentrated in high and low frequencies, and it doesn't conflict with the desired sound frequencies, you can use high-pass or low-pass effects. However, improper use can lead to sound distortion. Let's open Premiere and take a look at the sample clip. This clip was recorded using a PC laptop. During recording, due to the fan, that's quite a bit of noise. You can listen to it. There's a very prominent fan noise. For such noises, we directly choose the Effects panel, locate the Audio Effects, and here there are various sound processing commands. We find Noise Reduction and drag it onto our audio clip. Then there's an Edit option. Let's turn it on. By default, it's set to Weak Noise Reduction. Let's listen to it first. Let's preview the effect. There's a difference, but the noise is still noticeable. Let's select Strong Noise Reduction. For the other parameters, we'll leave them as default, as we are mainly focused on smoothing the noise, which remains consistent. So we won't change that. We simply close it and then test it again. Now the noise is pretty much gone, right? So, this noise reduction function is quite powerful. For instance, if we remove this, as I mentioned earlier, if high pass and low pass are not used properly, they can have a reverse effect. Let's try high pass. With the default set to 1495, let's test it. And now the sound is almost gone. Let's set it to 200. Now let's test it. It has improved slightly, but the noise is still there. So high pass doesn't work well. Let's try low pass. Drag it in and then test it. Let's change it to 400. The sound becomes muffled, right? And let's change it to 800. It's better. As for 1000, noise is reduced to some extent, but the sound is still quite muffled. Let's change it to 1200. Balance it and adjust to 90. But the effect is still not quite satisfactory. It's a bit better than before, but compared to the noise reduction command we selected earlier, the effect is much worse. So, this is how we apply effects to audio. We've learned how to reduce the noise. Alright, that's all for today. Please practice by yourself after the class.